What am I even doing? Hey everyone, today we are going to visit the wonderful world of decals. And honestly, decals can be used for so many things, and we're gonna go over a few of them in hopes that it might help you in the future. You will need advanced placing for most of these, except for when you just want to hang paintings on your walls. So first of all, how you load in a decal obviously is you click on the picture that you just placed, you change the picture, and I'm going to be adding a sheep, for example. So I look up sheep, and I'm gonna add this birthday sheep in here. Totally not stretched. Now, if you're not happy with what you found, you can always go to your browser. And for example, I want this image with the pink sheep right here. So I'm gonna download that. And then I go to Roblox and I go to create decals. Yes, I have many games that I never even played. And then right here, you can choose your file. So I uploaded it. Then I need to give it a name. I'm gonna give it colorful. Oh yes, that's caps lock. Colorful sheep. And then upload. Make sure what you're uploading is an image. Oh my goodness. Let us just try the other image. I'm gonna call it sheepy. I refreshed my page afterwards and suddenly it got added, so just gonna use that. So you need to wait for it to be verified, but you can always just go into the link and then you can copy that ID right here. Control C, Command C, and then you go back to Bloxburg, and in Bloxburg you want to change picture, enter image ID, you do Command V or Control V depending on what device you have, and there we are. There we have the pink sheep looking amazing. So this is how you add a decal in. Just wanted to make sure you understand how it works before we continue. So if you're looking on how to add a decal in, this is how you do it. Okay, now let's get to the first thing that I love to use decals for, and that is kitchens. So I like to use decals as a splash wall. Let me just build a tiny kitchen right here, because it does add some sense of deepness to your house. And I just like when you're not finding any material. Wow, that counter was placed so nicely. When you can't find any material that you like and you want something special into your kitchen that no one else has, decals are the perfect way to do that. I kind of hate how this glass shelf is empty now because I'm kind of too lazy to fill it up, but that might be only me. There we go, that is our improvised kitchen. Now what I will do is I will pick a painting. I think I'm going to be using this one. That will fill it up completely. And you can either add your own decals in as I showed you before, or you can look for decals in the catalog that already exists. I think I'm going to just look for decals in the catalog this time. So I'm going to type tiles maybe. So I do like these, but they might be a little too big. I'm going to try and find some colorful tiles if they exist in the catalog, that is. And then I'm going to go back into build mode and see what the tiles actually look like. So just gonna copy this painting by pressing C. You can also use this clone stamp tool right here. And I'm gonna put my placement grid on small, so it comes through the glass cabinet. I'm gonna change that one up to this one so it doesn't look as weird. And I'm just gonna copy that, put my placement grid on small. I'm gonna try match it up to the counters. So you want to make sure it's aligned and it doesn't look like this, or maybe you like that, I don't know, but that's really up to you. I'm just gonna make sure that they form a nice line. And as you can see, I got some space left right here, so I'm gonna move my decals a little bit to the side, and everything that happens behind the fridge doesn't really matter. I should have started from the other side, to be honest. Now as you can see, sometimes it can come through the wall. That is quite the annoyance. What I do usually is just place a pillar or just extend my wall a little bit and then add a closet in right here so that you can't really see what's going on here. For example this, and then it's hidden away. But yeah, it can make your kitchen look a lot better. It is 6 p.m. so it's gonna be dark probably, but yes, obviously it is. And I do seem to like this. That's not really a material you have in the game, or it doesn't look as fake as in the game sometimes. Like sometimes the game materials can look a little bit fake, and I do seem to like this quite a bit. So you can also make a boxed in bed using decals. That can look so cozy. So what I'm gonna do is just gonna create a small tiny little room. And actually, but you need the basement game pass for it, so you don't have to do that. For most things, yes, you need advanced placing, but I'm gonna raise it a little bit so that we can have a raised bed. So I'm gonna go for this bed right here, and then I'm gonna add some more roofing under that so that you can see the legs of the bed. And then of course I need to find a nice decal, and the graphic bug is back. How do I fix this? this. Now, before we continue, I will say that stuff will be coming through the wall right here, so it's better to create some safe zone behind it. That happens a lot when you are using decals and detailing rooms. So you always need to keep in mind that sometimes things will come through the wall, so it's not always the space you have that you can use, but if you don't mind things sticking out, you can of course use that space. And I'm going to be using the same square decal. You can always use the longer ones as well. So whatever you want to use for your builds, I just prefer to be using the square one, just so that my decals don't get all stretched out. I do seem to like this pattern a lot. Let me actually try it. So again, I'm going to copy this. And when I want to fill an entire wall, I always start at the top because otherwise it will come through the ceiling. And then if you don't really have room to go under the painting, that's okay. Like I can't fully go underneath, so what I will do is I will just line it up like this. And as you can see, some things are coming through the wall, like I said before. That is normal, that can happen. And I'm gonna use it on the sides here as well. And then to finish off with the detailing, I'm gonna add some pillars to the sides so that you don't really see where it starts and where it ends. And then I'm just gonna be adding some fairy lights to finish it all. And there we go, that's the second thing we made with decals, this little caved in bedroom. I kinda seem to like how cozy it is. And then we get to my favorite thing ever, which is when you, for example, have a basement house and you want to have a view of something. I usually fix that with decals. Let me create a little room right here so that we can make it realistic. So first what I do is I paint the floors and the walls inside this area black. And then I add some windows. And then for myself, you don't have to copy this completely. I'm just going to be adding some fencing so that you don't see the ground. So yes, welcome to my very cozy basement living room. And then what I usually do to add decals in here, I calculate first how many paintings I will need. So I am going to be using the stretched ones over here. I'm going to try place that in the middle a little bit. And I start from the top once again. And I just make sure that all of them are lined up. So as you can see, I need 4 paintings for this one, and it's a little more landscape than it's portrait. So landscape is when it's longer on this side than on this side, and portrait is vice versa. So what I do now is I go to a free picture website. I use Pexels a lot. You can also use Pixabay, and I look for what I want. So for example, mountain. And I do like this one because it's taken from a ground level, and we are on ground level, so it doesn't have to look like you're flying. So I'm gonna download this one. And then what I do is I go to imgonline.com.ua. I will link it in the description so that you can use that website as well. And I just load in my file. And then you say parts in width and parts in height. So I need 2 of each. And then here I don't usually change anything. It's always okay. So I don't really need to change stuff up. And then I click OK, and you can download your images right here. And then right here you will have a folder with all of the images cut up, as you can see. There we go, I named all of my files, and now I'm gonna go back into Roblox. So once again, I go to Create, Decals, and let's hope it works this time. And then I choose my file one by one, and there we go, I created all of the decals. Now let's just open them in a new tab. So this is bottom left, so what I do now is I go to Roblox, Bloxburg at least, and I walk up to my little thing that I created right here. And then this is the bottom left, so I will add my picture in here. And I do the same with all the others. And then I go back into build mode and I just finish the building off. So I add some lights accordingly. So I always use spots because they don't stand out as much. Also, you can add paintings to the side. I just chose not to do that this time, but then you need to chop it up into 6 bits and it's a little bit harder to get them aligned. And as you can see, this is our living room now. We have a nice view of the mountains, and it's just something that is so nice to do in game when you don't really want to have windows, but you do want a nice view anyways. So we already have the kitchen splash wall, we have the built-in bedroom that we made here, and then we have the normal decals, well, with the pink sheep. And then we also did the room with a view. Then that brings us to the next thing on the list, and that is wanting to add a PNG to your wall, so not really a painting. And we need to keep in mind the RGB color. So this one is 25500, which is easy to remember. I'm gonna add a painting to this, and I also forgot to check how big this painting actually is, so I'm gonna have to remember that as well. So 565 by 710. So now I'm in Photoshop, but you can use any editor you want, and then I just do 565 times 7 10. My resolution, gonna keep it the same. Then I go to my colors and I type the color that I had to pick. So 255 red, and then the other two are 0. I'm gonna fill that in, and then I want to look for a nice PNG. So let's do getting back with the sheep PNG. Let's see if we can find something. And I just put the sheep on here. What am I even doing? I'll do the same as we did before. We want to just upload the picture. So I'm gonna exit build mode, and wonder by wonder, it is 6 p.m. It's dark once again, obviously. And it should be about the same color. Well, it's kind of a little bit different, but it should be about the same. If you look at it from a distance, it's just like it's a sheep. So let me place the sheep a little bit lower and copy it. And there we go. We have a little sheep farm now. So if you want to make images with the same background as the background you have, you basically have to copy the RGB code and then drop your image onto that and do this. It's a little bit different, but you can kind of change the colors in your photo editor if you want to do that. And then of course you can make a billboard as well. That's another thing that some people do. So this is too close to the street. So I added in a wall and then some fences. I'm gonna take a bigger pillar probably because this looks kind of strange. And then in lighting, you want of course the light to point at your billboard. So I'm just gonna be painting some of these tiny little lights underneath the billboard. Now you can cut up paintings if you want to fill the entire board, but I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm just going to be placing a wall here so that I don't have to climb all the way up. And then I'm just gonna look for an ad. I'm not gonna spend the time making a fake ad right now. Okay, I have found the best ad that I can basically have in the game. I'm just gonna put it on top here. And as you can see, we have our own little billboard right here. The only game pass you need for this one is multiple floors, but you don't really need advanced placing for it, which is nice. So here are a few tips that I can give you right now. I'm pretty sure there's plenty more, but I'm gonna keep it at this. So we got the kitchen. This is my personal favorite just because it makes your kitchen look so much different and it gives a pop to your house. Then we got the built-in bed, which I kind of like as well, but I don't do as often because you need some space behind it. You can also do that with showers and bathrooms and everything basically, but I can only show you so many. Then we got the normal paintings where I showed you how you add your own decals. Then we have the basement right here with the view. We cut up some pictures and we added it into this window. Then we have our sheep farm, and here I wanted to show you how to get the same color of your walls onto your paintings. It's a little darker now, but you can easily fix that by just playing with the colors in your photo editor. And then right here we have the billboard. So if you have a McDonald's or a drive-thru or a coffee house, if you want a billboard, you can make one just like that and put your own painting on top. And that was it for today, guys. I hope these helped you. If you know any more or any very specific ones that not a lot of people know of, you can leave them in the comments. That would be amazing. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button and please subscribe.